doing really well. What I'm going to do today is a little bit of at-home bike mechanics, bike tech stuff. I don't know what it's like where you live, but where I live, it's actually really hard to book your bike into the bike shop for any sort of repairs or maintenance, because they've just been really overwhelmed with people who are taking up cycling or dusting off old bikes and getting out for their daily exercise. I think one of the few good things that have come out of the pandemic have been people doing more cycling and doing more exercise, because obviously it's a way of getting out of the house and, well, making yourself feel better. So I've always quite enjoyed working on my own bike, but even more so now because I can't just take my bike to the bike shop and get them to work on it. They have like a 3-week waiting list. Anyway, what I'm doing today is I am going to show you how to set up a tubeless tyre when the tyre is not easy to set up, basically. I've already done a video showing how I set up tubeless tyres really simply and efficiently, because sometimes it just works. However, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I was trying to set up some tyres tubeless a couple of days ago and it didn't work at all. So I had to come up with a way of getting this done. And therefore I tried a whole bunch of things and I figured out what does and doesn't work. So here is your waffly guide to getting a tricky tyre to set up tubeless. So here is the wheel that I was trying to set up. This is a Zip 30 course aluminium rim, and I am running WTB Radlers. These are 44C wide. This is my gravel bike. Now, just because you can't get your tyre to pop on and seat immediately doesn't mean there's something wrong with the tyre or something wrong with the rim. Sometimes different rim and tyre combinations can just be a bit tricky. Other times, I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I know a lot of people think it's weird that I work on my bike in my house, but hey, it's my house and I like bikes, so I deal with the mess. Anyway, I've got the things I need. I have got this AirShot, which is a compressor that you use with a floor pump. This video is not sponsored by AirShot. I bought this. I'm just showing you how I use it because I asked you on Instagram if you want to see how to use it, and you said yes, so here you go. I've got some sealant. I normally use stands. I really like stands, but I went to the local bike shop. They had this. Seems to work fine. I've got a syringe. I use this to inject the sealant into the valve. In fact, there should be a little kind of hose, a little pipe thing that goes on the end of this bottle so that you can squirt it in. But I don't know if it's meant to come with this bottle. It didn't. I think I got this from giving medicine to my cat or something. Anyway, it's really useful. It's just a syringe. I have got a valve core remover. I'm holding these things up. You can't see them. You're miles away. It's a valve core remover. And I have got a small adapter that goes on the end of the AirShot. This means that you can use the AirShot either with the valve core in or with the valve core out. With it out, you can fire a load of air in and get the tyre to go pop, 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 pop onto the rim, which is nice. But obviously with the valve core in, you can inflate your tyre with all the sealant in and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, shall we get going? I'm going to have to take this tyre off in order to show you how I do it. I don't want to waste the sealant that's already in here. It's a lot easier to put your tyres on without sealant already in them. I'm going to remove the sealant, put it back in the bottle. So one of the first things that I did when I realised I couldn't get my tyre to seal or seat properly was I had a quick look at the rim tape. These rims, they came ready taped, set up to be run tubeless, but when I had a look at the rim tape, it just didn't really look substantial enough and not quite wide enough in my opinion, so I whacked on another layer of rim tape. Now, some people might say, oh, you're adding weight or it's unnecessary, but in my experience, sometimes putting on a couple of layers of rim tape, as in I already had one and I've added one more, sometimes 2 layers of rim tape can just really be the only thing you need to change. And I made sure that it was wide enough for my rim. These are 25mm wide, so I made sure it's the correct one. Without wanting to sound like I'm pointing out the obvious, actually I'm just pointing out the obvious. If you are going to put another layer of rim tape on your rim, make sure you remove the valve and then put the tape on and then reinsert the valve. You can't just like tape over the valve. That's clearly not going to work. Am I stating the obvious? I am. So that done, what you need to do next, obviously, is put the tyre back on. Make sure you line up your logos with your valves and make sure that your tyre is running, the tread is running in the right direction. So disc on the left, that is the wrong way around, all fingers and thumbs. But the point is, I get it done. And that's all that really matters. Now the next thing that I do is I put some fairy liquid in a little bowl with a bit of water. I get a sponge and then I rub the soapy water all the way around the rim, because that slippery substance helps the tyre to pop onto the rim correctly. Sometimes you might find that tubeless tyres are incredibly tight and really difficult to get onto your rim. So if that's the case, a bit of lubrication in the form of fairy liquid works a treat. It does. An added bonus is that if you've got a layer of bubbles all the way around the side of the rim, when you're trying to get it to seal, when you're inflating it, you can see where the air is squirting out, because you can see the bubbles bubbling, moving where the air is coming out. So just going to go and grab that. Right, so I'm all bubbly. I need to, you know what, I need to get a cloth because I'm all too bubbly to do anything. I'm going to remove the valve core. Of course you can do this before you get all slippery and soapy, but whatever. I'm just using this little tool that goes on to the valve. The valve core is out. The key here is not to lose it, and nor to lose any of the other little bits. I'm very good at that sort of thing, as you can imagine. I'm not the most organised person. I did think about bringing a little bowl over here to put all my bits and bobs in, and then I was like, nah, it'll be alright. So the next thing you want to do is load up this air shot, and basically you get a track pump, floor pump, however you want to call it. Put it on the end like this, make sure that the valve is closed so it doesn't just come out. And then you just pump it up like you would pump up, well, a tyre. I'm doing this in a really weird way. I'm trying to be in shot. Although I wanted to go over there and move the camera. Ah! So you want to pump it up to at least 120 psi. I think you can go up to 160. But you need to make sure you're using a floor pump that can handle high pressure like that. So my air shot is now full of air. What I'm going to do is screw this end into the valve, and then I'm going to release all the air, and hopefully the tyre will go ping ping ping, seat itself, and I won't mess it up. I'm going to put a bit more soap and water on because that's kind of dried out whilst I was faffing. And the reason I'm doing this without the sealant in there is because I just want to get the tyre in the right position so that when I put the sealant in, it doesn't just all pour out. So it is quite a good way of doing it without the sealant. I'm so slippery now from all the soap. Ah! Are you ready? Basically you just open the valve, and as long as you've screwed it on properly at the other end, it will send in a load of pressurised air. Shall we do it? Here goes. It didn't make that satisfying popping sound, but as you can see, it has gone up. A good point to notice that if you've still got the floor pump attached to the air shot, you can actually read what pressure you've got in your tyres through the floor pump. Obviously when I remove this, it's going to go down because I'm letting all the air out, but that's fine. I just wanted to get the tyre in the right place on the rim. Next thing I do is I get a little bowl, I put some sealant in, and then I insert the sealant using this. I just don't mind doing it this way. It means I can measure it quite precisely, because although there are markings on the bottle showing you how much you've used, I find it easier this way because I know how much is in one syringe full. Have you seen my wall? It's a bit soapy. So all the sealant that I need is in. I'm going to reinsert the valve core and then make sure it's tight. Just going to make sure that the sealant has gone everywhere. Then what I'm going to do is pump this up again. Got to remove the little adapter that you use when the valve core is not in there. Sorry I can't give you any cool close-ups of me doing this, but I'm just filming everything on my own. Ready? Ooh! Pop, pop! It's sealed! It's that easy! So there you go, it's done. Tyre is sealed, and it was really easy, honestly. Like I said, this is not an ad. I bought this, it was 50 quid. I think that's pretty expensive, but I have so many different kinds of bikes and they're all tubeless. My road bike's tubeless, my mountain bike, both my gravel bikes. So having to faff around changing tyres and set them up tubeless all the time, it's always been a pain, honestly, just doing it with a floor pump. You can get it to work, but it's a bit of a gamble. But now I've got this, I'm pretty stoked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Leave me any questions or comments below. I will try and respond. I'm sorry, I've been really bad at responding to comments recently. I've just been a bit overwhelmed with loads of stuff going on, but I will get back to going through the comments because I do like chatting with you guys and replying to them all. But yeah, let me know if you want to see any other bike mechanics, stuff like this, or any other video ideas. Always nice to hear what you guys are thinking. So yeah, I'll leave it there and see you next week. Bye!